As I was looking back on my top 10 underrated games upload, I got to thinking, what are some games I don't like as much as everyone else? As I make this video, I'm not trying to say that these games are bad or that you can't enjoy them. To be honest, some of my favorite video games are one of the most controversial in their series. I just wanted to express my feelings with these games that everyone else enjoyed that I sadly don't feel the same about. Let's start talking about 10 games everyone else likes but I don't.
Number 10.
I can't say I had a great time playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Don't get me wrong, it has good characters and a wonderful open world, but I found the gameplay to get kind of repetitive and clunky after a while. Sometimes Aloy's attacks won't connect with enemies, the stealth feels kinda iffy to me, and overall movement doesn't feel the most fluid. I honestly found myself getting tired and bored within 20 minutes every time I played because there just wasn't enough to keep me excited. I do plan to try to finish Horizon Zero Dawn because I have hope that Forbidden West may fix some of the issues I have. I can see hints of a good game here, but I couldn't get as attached as some other players did.
Number 9.
I know for a fact this one will get people mad. To me, Mario Kart Wii didn't feel like a new game, it felt more like Mario Kart on the Wii. Mario Kart Wii didn't add a lot of new features, the only notable ones were the bikes and the trick system. Every time I boot it up, it just feels kinda basic. Even the battle mode wasn't that great, which sucks because battle mode is one of the best ways to play Mario Kart. The graphics seem to have taken a step back from the previous entry. Double Dash looks colorful and vibrant, while Mario Kart Wii looks washed out and slightly hazy. I don't think Mario Kart Wii is that bad, but to me, it just feels like basic watered down Mario Kart.
Number 8.
Real quick, I spoiled the ending for The Last of Us Part 1, so if you don't want to be spoiled, skip this section. For a lot of people, The Last of Us was an amazing game and one of the best games to play on the PlayStation 4. I really did think that this would be a good experience for the first few hours, but it slowly went downhill for me. The plot is about Joel helping transfer a girl named Ellie to a hospital because she is the cure to the zombie outbreak that has occurred. There are plenty of roadblocks and setbacks that happen during the game, but my least favorite part was the ending. After all the things that they had went through during the game, they finally make it to the hospital, but Joel ends up taking Ellie back before the surgery because he feels guilty about knowing that the procedure would kill her. On one hand, I can understand that some may find this to be a heroic ending because Joel's daughter died at the start of the outbreak, and knowing another young girl would die might bring back those bad memories. But to me, it seemed more like all of that time and work was basically for nothing. Along with annoying enemy patterns and combat getting stale, I knew I wouldn't enjoy this game as much as other people did.
Number 7.
I honestly really enjoy the Life is Strange games. I like the atmosphere and the characters, all of it is really well done. So when I heard a new game was releasing, I made sure to grab a copy as soon as possible. But after I had finished it, I wasn't super impressed like I thought I'd be. When I finished True Colors, I didn't think it was bad, I was just underwhelmed since I expected more. The story didn't grab me as much as the first Life is Strange. Personally, I didn't think the game had as many exciting moments as the first game did, but the game still did have some standout moments that I really enjoyed. Like I had said before, I didn't think this game was bad, more just a little boring and underwhelming. Unrelated, but you can make the main character a lesbian. LGBTQ representation is always a plus for me.
Number 6.
I know calling the new Super Mario Bros. Games decent enough experiences isn't anything revolutionary, but I just really didn't enjoy New Super Mario Bros. Wii as much as everyone else did. Starting off, most of the levels look wide open and empty. I can understand why they did this, since you need a lot of room in the levels if you're playing with 3 other people. But it's a lot more noticeable when you're playing alone. And this game is full of levels that I can't say I loved playing through. Don't get me wrong, they aren't bad levels, but they also aren't good levels. I think playing with friends or family really enhances the experience, and that's how I'd recommend other people play it as well. But looking back on this entry, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did when I was younger.
Number 5.
We all remember being told no when we asked for a copy of GTA 5 as a kid. So instead, you got the Simpsons Hit Run. I had started playing this game a while ago, and within the first few hours of my playthrough, I was getting slightly annoyed and frustrated. To me, the driving is good. I don't have any real issues with it. But what I'm not too fond of is the strict timer for some of the missions and the sometimes unfairly skilled CPU. Seriously, sometimes the CPU will just randomly have difficulty spikes, making missions longer than they really need to be. Also, not to mention that it seems like your cars get destroyed very easily. Honestly, this is one of the more well-done GTA genre type games, but I still think the overall experience has a few things that need to be tweaked.
Number 4.
I know, me not liking a Fire Emblem game seems crazy. Just like how it's crazy you haven't hit the subscribe button yet. You should totally do that real quick. I didn't enjoy Echoes that much. I found the story to be decent enough, and I didn't really care about most of the characters in the game either. And while Echoes is a remake, it is unfortunate to see some of the features introduced in Awakening and the Fates games didn't make its way into Echoes. Like, come on man, I just want to be able to pair up units. And I didn't really like some of the music either. There were some good songs, but not many that I'd listen to again. Fire Emblem Echoes was alright, it's just nothing that I'd go out of my way to play through again.
Number 3.
Most other Ace Attorney fans think that Trials and Tribulations was one of the best games in the entire series. But I honestly don't understand all the hype about TNT. It adds details to Phoenix and Mia's past that didn't seem to exactly fit the backstory that the first two games were trying to create. In the first Ace Attorney game, they present it like Phoenix and Mia have never interacted with each other all that much. But Mia had defended Phoenix in a murder trial, and neither Phoenix or Mia mention anything about that in the first game. Phoenix had a girlfriend that literally tried to kill him, and he never mentioned anything about it. Random additions like that really threw me off, since they were never mentioned previously in any other Ace Attorney games. I'm also not the biggest fan of the OST. They go for this 8-bit chiptune style, but since this game originally came out on the GBA, music already sounded like that, so what was Capcom trying to achieve there? I don't get it. And it doesn't help that in my opinion, this game only had a couple of good cases. I know other people love this game, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as others.
Number 2.
To most people, Mario Sunshine is a game you like or you don't, and I personally am not a fan of the game. I don't dislike the flood pack like some others do. I think it's a very fun and useful tool, but what I do dislike is how horrid the game feels without it. I think you can all agree with me when I say those special levels without the flood pack are some of the worst parts of the game. Mario doesn't feel the easiest to control either. It feels like the game is constantly fighting you on every input you make. There's a lot of places where you can slip and fall off high places, which makes it more annoying when you're just trying to grab a shine. I think a remake with these problems fixed would make Mario Sunshine a good game, but with how it is, it's personally one of my least favorite 3D Mario games.
Number 1.
I was hopeful when I heard the reviews about Sonic Frontiers. I had heard it was one of the best Sonic games to have released in the present day. And I'll be honest, the first hour or two of Frontiers wasn't all that bad. It was actually pretty good to me. But after the game started to progress, it just slowly got worse. Sonic doesn't fit in the environment at all. You have this bright blue anthropomorphic hedgehog in this hyper-realistic world. And it doesn't help that the platforming elements stick out like a sore thumb. You just have these random blocks and rails appearing out of nowhere and it doesn't fit. Most of the puzzles got repetitive quickly, same thing with the combat. I think Sega is moving in the right direction with Sonic games, but they still have some work to do. So I'm sure most people will hate this video, but I just wanted to share my opinion about some of these games. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like any of these games, I'm not trying to make you dislike them. You can play and enjoy any game you want to. I hope you guys enjoy the video, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later.